I'm at Lakewood Park in Leander, Texas. It's one of my favorite parks. Well, it's one of the only parks here in Leander. There's a couple, but you don't get this view all the time. These are Texas wildflowers. And here's the cool thing. You can see that the wildflowers actually go along the stream, this little stream here, all the way down. Dragonflies. Some summer camp information here, some marketing. What's this so far? It's pretty nice. It's a park that I would recommend to anybody who wants to get a quick loop around. It's paved. See, I like to go down to Town Lake or Lady Bird Lake, however you want to say it. But this is just as good. Look, I utilize different strategies for walking. I'm not really an aggressive walker, like just people that walk fast. I'm more of a thinking walker, if that makes sense. I like to think, and walking at the same time is kind of like a cup of coffee. But I play the shade game. The shade game is basically find shade, find trees that give you shade. Avoid hotness. It gets really hot. There's a little water station. It works. Do my public duty, making sure the water station's working. See, that's heat. Any kind of shade really is a plus. I don't know if these cacti planted themselves, but they're very smart to be under this tree with all that nice shade. Look at this view. I remember when this is dirt, they were starting to put this field here. They had one big event here, like a couple 4th of July ago. They had a huge concert, like a local country artist and vendors over, but it was just so hot, you know. And that's the problem sometimes with Texas. It gets really hot. These are junipers, also known as cedar trees. These are little juniper berries, I believe. I've seen juniper berry syrup and different things like that. I'm not sure if this is the same tree that does that, but that's definitely a juniper tree, and those are definitely berries. So the other side over there is the, I call it the wild side. That side over there has a playground. Playground's all right. It's good. definitely good enough. Some people might love it, but it has more than a playground, which makes it great. It has the infamous water splash pad. It also has a little skate park there, which you can use a scooter or whatever you want, I think. But it's definitely pretty nice. I'll walk over there shortly, maybe. Trying to get my steps in here. So I'm doing this loop here. It's hot. And yeah, I'm practicing a new thing that I basically heard on the internet. It's called maxing, right? There's so many different maxings, this, that, and the other. But this one's specifically on action taking with less thinking. See, the smarter you are, the more thinking you do. The problem is, the more thinking you do, the less you do. So, your thoughts are already good. It's a challenge. I'm not just saying it to you, I'm saying it to myself. The challenge is this. Imagine if you would just take action based upon only the information that you knew. No outside help. Don't even think about it. This is what I'm telling myself, by the way. You already have the information. Whatever it is that your thought is, do that. And I'll just give you a prime example of how I recently did that. Not in a crazy way, but I was actually pretty proud of myself. And it was my floors at the house. We all have Roombas and this, that, and the other. I have a couple pets, kids, all that kind of stuff. And this one was fun. So I said to myself, all right, I don't got a Roomba. I could potentially try to fix a Roomba, which would take me who knows? It's unknown because I don't know how long it would take me. Maybe I wouldn't even fix it and then I wouldn't even get the job done. So I said, you know what? I could just broom it. So I grabbed a broom, a dustpan, and I went to work. Probably took me maybe 20 minutes of just kind of concentrated effort. Maybe 20 minutes. I was a little bit mad because I was like, man, why am I doing this the manual way when I could be doing it so optimized with robots, aka my Roomba. And well, before I knew it, I picked up a lot of dust, dog hair, all the stuff that's involved in that quickly, and the ground became clean. I got the job done. I did it, in the most brute force way, I guess, by brooming. But you know what? Brooming has been around forever. It's a time-tested strategy for sweeping. Why would you not use it if you really think about it? And that's the problem. Sometimes you're thinking too much. You're like, oh, I got these robots. I got to optimize, blah, blah, blah. 20 minutes. And guess what? I got some steps for it. Hopefully I got some cred for my wife, seeing me actually do some real work. And that was it. Okay, I want to show you these. These kind of stood out to me. It's these yellow flowers, beautiful. And then these other violet looking, purple looking flowers. Whew. It was 90 degrees before I got out of the car. But I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Any guys do any walking? You thinker? You're a gamer? You're an action taker? I was thinking about social media and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of a scary place. But then I thought about it's like networking on steroids. You know, people like, they'll like your stuff or they don't. They either drive with you or they don't. That's anywhere. Have you ever been to like a trade show? It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy. In my prior life, I used to go to trade shows, and these are big trade shows. Like one was in Anaheim, California. They call it Expo West, the largest natural food product show on the West Coast. So what, you ask? Well, that thing was crazy. There's people from all around the world, everywhere. You had some, people that if you're selling products, you may want to know, like Walmart buyers, and these are big stores, right? Costco buyers, all these, buyers for different retail establishments across the country. But remember, food products are international. So go to the grocery store, you'll see an international section, this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? There's not just an international section here in the US. Other countries have international sections, and you may be part of it. And so we would have these long, let me walk over here. We would have these, booths set up. There's like, I think 4,000 people in the last one that I went to. I think, or more. That was just probably the amount of the booths. The amount of people was probably, I think, maybe 4 times more. I got to look at the numbers, but it was big. But I remember thinking to myself, there's some people I definitely want to talk. There's like, people that are from import, export, and some of them have no clue what they're doing. Some of them have clue, and I'm not judging it. I'm just saying, when you're working for a company, you got to get business, and the easiest business, I don't mean by easiest like easy to get, but easiest to do. Ooh, it's a squirrel. To do business was domestically in the US, because you have the same language most of the time, same accounting systems, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to pause real quick as I'm doing this tour, or speaking to you about that network. Oh, 2 little turtles over there. So this used to be full. It used to be full and of water, and there was some situation with some contractor downstream or upstream. I'm not really sure what caused this. It caused this to be, well, mud. It was dirt at some point. At a certain point, caused it to be mud, and there's no people used to fish on here. I don't really see people fishing on here. Maybe it's because it's Sunday or whatever. But yeah, it's sad. There's definitely a lot of people fishing here. And this is, I believe, part of Brushy Creek. No, not Brushy Creek, Blackhouse Creek, which is actually, there's a Blackhouse neighborhood, there's a Blackhouse Elementary, and believe it or not, there is a Blackhouse Creek, and this is it, part of it. So, I don't know if you see over there, there's like a little waterway, it takes you back there. We rented, there used to be kayaks over there, it looks like some kayaks there. And we went all the way back there. It was pretty cool. It's like a little creek that you could go up. These are just kind of side quests, you call them, or small little adventures. But anyways, back to that story on the networking. Well, to me, when I think of 5,000 people, 16,000 people online, well, that was it online. Just like that many people, I mean, not online, it was 16,000 people in a room, just to kind of visualize how big that was. And the amount of connections that you can actually make was insane, because there's no way you're going to be talking to all those people. You can't talk to 16,000 people, but you will talk to a lot of people, and sometimes you just talk to people that just like, because also remember, it's a natural health food show. So you had people from way back in the day, not just way back in the day. I mean, you had everything from people like Billy Blanks, who, if you're familiar with Tybo, or the apple cider vinegar lady. I don't know her name, but I took a photo with her. She was there. You know, these kind of people. And even extreme versions of that where you learn about, you know, this is where I learned about grounding. And that's basically where you like can recharge by walking barefooted and or ground yourself, which I think is the whole thing is you're gonna recharge. To just craziness. People that say they can look in your eyes and tell you when you're gonna perish. I said, what? You got the whole gamut. Anyways, my point is you're not gonna jive with every single person that you talk to, but the people that do, you know, want to talk to you to do. And that's how, you know, for example, I landed the big accounts like Walmart and this, that, and the other. And it was all because of the networking. You go in there, you kind of present yourself, talk about your product, which in that case was our products, and it can lead to many opportunities. And I've done other events, and I thought about it. I was like, oh, social media is that. It's essentially you're going out there, putting yourself out there, and the people that connect with you. The people that don't, well, they might think you're one of those weirdos I just described. But anyways, it's just an encouragement for anybody else that is maybe a little bit shy